so excited to be talking to my good friend, Marco Matos, CEO of Adora. And, Marco, why don't we just start with our first question? I'm just going to rip the Band-Aid off.
Uh-oh.
Why'd you leave Pinterest to start Adora?
Oh, wow. Let's start with the easy ones. Let me start with Pinterest is a phenomenal company and an incredible product, and I have a ton of friends still there, and I love that place. The reality is I've spent my entire career, almost 20 years, in big tech on the digital advertising side. And I think we all know our two new favorite letters in the English language of A and I. That's actually a thing. But more importantly, the rise of user privacy, the rise of data transformation, and brands are really kind of stuck in the mud. So having spent 20 years on the advertising side, I thought, hey, there's a better way to go do this if you actually work with the brands and bring technology with the brands.
Okay, but it wasn't just Pinterest, it was Microsoft, it was Google. You basically built these marketing products and you're part of the big machine. You left to go out on your own.
Yeah.
But what is Adora bringing to everyone who is out here in the audience? They may be spending millions on advertisements, not seeing a lot of results, or worse, seeing it all evaporate.
Totally. I mean, the reality is, pick your favorite metric. CPA, ROAS. You've seen a 50% decline in efficiency on your dollar over the last 5 years. Like, just a fact. And there's a better way because over the last, call it 15 years, walled gardens have built APIs, they've built pixel technology, ways for brands to give their data away for free for you to have the ability to optimize or utilize your budget. But imagine at an ad auction at a Facebook or a Google or any one of these complex systems, they're balancing so many variables around user content, the ability to retain users, advertiser efficiency, revenue. The theory of the case for Adora was, wait, what if we just built a technology that optimized to one thing, return on your investment as an advertiser? What would need to be true? You know your customer, you know how to personalize content, you know how to actually understand what your customers want, they're purchasing from you. What if we brought the technology inside and optimized based on what the brand cared about? And that was the beginning of Adora.
Right. I mean, I'm reading this research that I did. Ad returns have declined 50% over the past years, despite record industry spend. I mean, how does that equate? It just doesn't seem like you would think that this figure would be out there and people would be running, immediately to find the solution. Are you finding that that's what people are doing?
I think the last few years have showed us, for those that know the Lumascape, every year the Lumascape gets more Lumascapey. There's more parts to the Lumascape. There's more boxes in the Lumascape. And I think, especially with AI, you see a lot more point solutions. AI for creative, AI for targeting, AI for measurement. And that requires marketers to become Frankenstack builders. So when you think about how do you support an enterprise-grade company with a ton of complex organizational, right? You have creative departments, you have marketing ops, you have performance marketing teams, you have third-party external teams that you work with. You need an end-to-end platform that allows you to go from brand authenticity, training an AI model that's unique to my brand, to deliver assets, personalized content at scale, and then find the best bang for my buck. Everybody who's worked in advertising has heard the right message to the right person at the right time. That misses something completely obvious to me, which is at the right price. So if you can think about being channel agnostic and placing your content in different channels, and by the way, as consumers, we all use different content consumption patterns. So as a brand, you want to reach your audience where they are in a price-efficient way. That's what the AI model builds for Adora, brand by brand.
So where does this concept of speed of culture fit into? Because I think it was Eric from Alaska Airlines who conceptualized this. I mean, of course, we hear it over and over again. But what does that mean in terms of Adora? And how does that apply to what your solution is trying to do?
Yeah, and if you think about Alaska Airlines or you think about a Brooks Running, these are huge corporations that are building massive products for a multi-million human base. And when you're trying to do that, you've got to spend months and quarters planning campaigns, understanding your photo shoots, understanding what you think is going to resonate in market. And by the time you've launched something, the world's completely changed 10 times over.
Yeah.
So when you think of moving with the speed of culture, we all know that something on a Monday at 10 a.m. happens, it's viral by Tuesday, and then the rest of the world has forgotten on Friday. That's just the world we live in. Organizations that have been around for 100+ years are not built that way. So what they lack is technology that's enabling them to go move with the speed of culture. So give Alaska Airlines a lot of credit. That's their phrase, not mine. We love it. But the idea is you need enterprise-grade software that allows your teams to come together and actually move quickly.
Right. Another statistic I found, 97% of Fortune 500 companies are losing at the speed of culture game. So break this down to us. Like, we have had some pretty culturally moments that have been happening over the last, I guess, the last 72 hours. Anyone hear about Taylor Swift? Is something going on with her? Taylor Swift, LeBron, anything, news cycle. So when you're talking about speed of culture and in the context of that, what does that actually mean? Like, what does it, break it down? I mean, you did a pretty good job there, but just really specifically, how does that work for a brand?
The LeBron one was great. I almost got by that one. That was good.
I did too. I'm like, oh no. And then Hennessy.
Good job, Hennessy. I think it means two things. I think one, it's really specific to what the brand cares about. So it doesn't mean you need to be at every cultural moment. It doesn't mean you need to be in every conversation, but it does mean you need to be able to respond when an opportunity comes up. So you mentioned Taylor Swift, funny story about that. When we started with Alaska Airlines, when it was just an idea of Adora, they came to us with this challenge, which was, hey, Taylor Swift has this Eras tour. We're a travel company. We want to figure out how to promote and take advantage of this moment based on where we're flying and really help galvanize the audience around this. And they spent months thinking through it, had a bunch of concepts, had a bunch of ideas, and the moment passed. And within a few days, I took this challenge, and with an early prototype of Adora, we showed them what was possible. And immediately they're like, we get it. We totally get it. So I will say speed of culture is less about you have to be everywhere. You have to truly be authentic to your brand. You have to be methodical. But when the moment's right, you got to go. And you need technology that is not generic in, generic out. It's not technology that's built for everybody. It's a tech that's built for you, and you decide how you want to deploy it, which is the second theme, human in the loop. I don't think we're at a point where AI is just running amok and doing all the things for you. It's really about placing this technology in the hands of innovative, experienced marketers who know how to tell human stories, and they're looking for technology to scale their operations, scale their growth, and more importantly, scale their revenue.
There's so many different parts happening here. So speed of culture, authenticity. For brands that are out here listening to us, how do you marry that all together? I mean, it just seems, clearly brands have different departments that are doing this, but if you are trying to move very quickly, I can only imagine that must be very difficult.
Yeah, for them and for us. For them, it's hard because they are inundated with a sea of AIs changing everything, and they don't know what's noise, what's real, what to invest in. So I think we're in a world where everybody's trying stuff, but there's nothing that's really durable. So that's, I think, a brand problem. On a technology problem, we've really focused on solving the problem for each unique customer. And that requires you to build an AI model that's built on your brand expression, your product catalog, your customer data, all around how you want to show up in an authentic way. So one common theme for most large corporations is we've got to be authentic to ourselves. What do we stand for? How does the brand want to separate and differentiate in our voice, in our way? And we all have seen the AI slop and the weird glossy feeling that looks like it could be for anybody. You need a system that allows you to articulate and visualize what that expression is, and that's how we think about it. So look, the reality is most startups in AI, they're building for SMBs and mid-market and really building point solutions. It's a daunting task to work with large enterprises, but when you've unlocked the ability for performance, creative, operations to all work together, they move so much faster and the results speak for themselves.
It's this optimization, and I love that quote. I think it was at your other panel when Kabir was on, where Alaska was saying, was it Alaska or Brooks that was saying that they couldn't tell the difference between the AI ad,
Brooks,
or their ad and the Adora ad.
That's the goal.
And that is, that's incredible because we've all seen those AI ads that definitely look like AI or any of that video.
Yeah.
But we're talking about how Adora works, but what are you giving brands that maybe other platforms don't?
Yeah, I think we've all been in that problem, which is, I'll not name names. Walled Garden A is claiming 50% credit of sales, and Walled Garden B is claiming 75%. And you added them up and you're saying, I sold 175% of my stuff? Come on, give me a break. So what we've been able to do is plug in directly into your, call it source of truth for measurement. So when we do test and learn and we're iterating on your behalf and with you, you quickly get results within hours and minutes about what's working and what's not. Then you get to decide, based on following recommendations or your own desires, do you want to shift budgets? Do you want to respond? Do you want to refresh your creative? Do you want to change your audience targeting? But it's happening with the speed of culture. So this common theme of how do you move quickly is an input. The output is performance. Like at the end of the day, marketers are trying to sell widgets and really push out how their brand differentiates. That technology has yet to exist until now.
So everyone talks about how AI is the magic solution, right? What are some of the things that you're seeing with your customers? Some real examples, concrete examples that some of the brands and some of our marketers out in the audience can take away.
Yeah. If you think about a Brooks Running, and they spend a long time really perfecting their campaign strategy and how to push out to shoes, but they don't really know which ones are going to sell or which colorways are going to get really hot. So at that moment when they launch, they're just waiting. And historically, you're like, okay, cool, I'll wait for my QBR, and you'll tell me in 90 days what actually worked or what didn't. Here, they can respond immediately. So then they get results, and it's like, I think Kabir was wearing lime green, which he looked great in. Those lime greens are really hot right now. Well, we've got to bring those in 10 different variations and move much, much faster. And we're going to shift budgets because that's moving right now. So the ability to respond in real time to results and optimize how you move, creative is part of that. The real, and this is my background, it's really around performance, measurement, and analytics to respond.
So we gave the example of Brooks, and of course, Kabir being in those Brooks running shoes is certainly going to go viral. It's going to be a viral moment. Now,
go for a run with them.
Yes, absolutely. What about your other client, which is Alaska Airlines? Can you give us some real world examples from Alaska?
Totally. Alaska had a pretty major merger with Hawaiian Airlines. They've been expanding the Atmos brand. They've been going through a massive brand transformation, and it's really about how they respond very quickly to understand. So they're opening up new markets, they're flying internationally in different places, and they themselves are trying to experiment in real time. What are the parts of these beautiful destinations that actually that people respond to? So Alaska knows if you're a first class traveler, if you usually fly with a family, if you're into different events, if you're a last minute traveler. Well, great, what are the concepts people want to respond to? And by the way, those concepts are very unique to the destination. So Eric at Alaska and the team, they're highly regarding around authenticity of place. Well, great, that place has to be authentic, but it's also got to be attractive. And what's attractive to me might be different than what's attractive to you. So the ability to test and learn at scale very quickly, and then, again, respond to what the data is telling you. There's a lot around prediction, but it's a lot easier to respond when you actually are convicted because you see the data in front of you.
Of course. In the next 2 minutes, couple things. Can you tell the audience, maybe if they want to take advantage of this right now, what should they be doing? The 3 things they should be doing today to go ahead and start looking at solutions like this.
Yeah.
What do they need to go back to their offices and start really doing inventory of, and some forensic investigations on their own company to see if they get themselves up and running for this?
Yeah, I think most people who are here already bought into the AI disruption. The real question is making sense of what's real and what's not. So I think 1, test. Pilot as many tools as you can, figure out what is best in class for you, but really learn of the sea of marketplaces. I'm biased, I think we have a great solution, but I would encourage everybody to play around with all the tools that exist because you learn a ton. 2, really focus on the problem you're trying to solve. There are a lot of tools out there, but those might not be relevant problems for your organization. Really invest with your team and time. Are we trying to lower our CPA? Are we trying to scale our business? Are we trying to scale our business and not scale our workforce? Like, figure out the problem you want to go solve. And then 3, when you're testing, have a clear goal. Because it becomes very easy to test a bunch of stuff and then you're like, now what do we do? So when you start your test, have a plan, be methodical about it, and then put the money behind it and put it into action.
All right, Marco Matos, CEO of Adora, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you.
Congratulations on the launch.
Yes, we just announced publicly our solution, so adora-ai.com. Come check us out and excited to partner.
Thanks, everyone.